Hey RC people, Tony here, CCxRC. I'm back. I had a tooth pulled recently, and so I have not been able to really talk or open my mouth very well. And so that's, I guess, good for some of you, but we're going to get back to making some videos. While I was laid up, I got a couple of packages in the mail, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to open these and unbox them. Now these are smaller, these are like 1/12 scale. They're by WLtoys, and if you saw my reviews of their even smaller vehicles, you'll know that I was completely floored. Absolutely loved them. They were a lot of fun to drive, play with. They could go really fast, and so this is going to be like a little bit bigger version of those cars. And we're going to go ahead and unbox this one in this video, but be looking out for the unboxing of this one coming very soon. And this one's more of a E-Revo style, but 1/12 scale. It's 4-wheel drive as well, but we're going to go ahead and put this away. I was really interested in this one when I found out that WLtoys made a 4-wheel drive of this, because I'd done the 9112 and I didn't really love it. It was 2-wheel drive, slow, kind of always spinning out. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to open this up. It's a trophy truck short course by WLtoys. It's the 14243. And it's very similar to the 12428, which is their twin hammers kind of look. So they share the same chassis, same suspension setup, and that one's really popular. And so I'm hoping that this one's going to be just as awesome. And we're going to unbox it right after the break. Alrighty, so this thing is waterproof, it says. It goes 50 kilometers an hour, which is about 31 miles per hour. It's 4-wheel drive, and what I really like about this, from what I can tell, is the suspension setup. So let's just get this thing unpackaged. Alrighty, so this thing is waterproof, it says. It goes 50 kilometers an hour, which is about 31 miles per hour. It's 4-wheel drive, and what I really like about this, from what I can tell, is the suspension setup. So let's just get this thing unpackaged. That was pretty painless. Oh yeah. Look at the bounce on that rear suspension. Alright, so here's everything that comes in the package, except for the manual, which is right here, which is actually just a photocopied or printed version of the manual, which will work. I mean, it's got all the exploded views and everything that you'd want to see in a manual, just not the nice binding or I guess the wrapped cover. So controller, it's not bad. We've got throttle here and steering trim and on-off switch, and it looks like a couple modes buttons here that you might be able to cycle through or something. Not sure exactly, but it's 2.4 gigahertz. Feels all right. Mini little wheel, 4 AA batteries. Put that to the side. So we've got a little wheel lug for your tires and whatever else. Tiny little screwdriver. These actually come in handy for like the tiny whoops, so these are nice to have around. The charger. One thing that I will point out is that this is a European style charger, and you will need to get an adapter, and I'll make sure I put a link for that in the description below where you can pick one of those up. They're really inexpensive to add on, and you get like a 3-pack of them from Amazon. Alright guys, here is the WLtoys 12423. Got this from GearBest. They sent this to me to do a review on it, and I really like the trophy truck style, and this has that styling with the trailing arm with the solid rear axle. This has independent suspension in the front. Take a quick look at that actually while we've got it here. So you've got quite a bit of travel with this suspension. We'll get a closer look when we take off the body, but you can see it's a very sharp looking truck. The color scheme and all that kind of has a Traxxas feel to it for sure, especially with the wheels. Speaking of the wheels, they feel really good. They are a beadlock style wheel here. This red ring around the rim definitely has that Traxxas / feel to it. But other than that, there's not a lot about this that is similar to a Traxxas /. We're going to take the body off and we're going to show you why. One of the main things being that suspension in the rear. So here it is. We'll get it up nice and close for you. See that rear axle? Looks fantastic. So this runs $70, $75, somewhere in that range, depending on the sales you find. From GearBest, I don't know what you might get somewhere else. You can see it's got working headlights up in the front here, and plastic A-arms. Most of this is plastic. The little drive shafts or the dog bones and all that in here from the front differential is metal. We've got little metal plates that kind of clamp down the whole diff and front end here. But plastic body mounts, body posts, bumper, arms, links here in the front, and there's a lot of them because it's running that twin hammer style or E-Revo suspension in the front, where it's tucked in and up on the top here, using this little lever or lever to activate the shocks and make that run. Keeps it nice and low to the ground, keeps the body low, and I don't know what other reasons that they do that for. When you look at the top here, you'll see the ESC and receiver. It's a single unit. They are combined. We follow this lead from the power, which leads me to believe that there's going to be an on-off switch on the bottom, which I'm not sure what I think about that. I might get it in there and then tape it on in the on position. While we're looking at the bottom, you'll see that there's a little metal plate here on the front as a guard for hard impacts. We've got a few metal pins that run through to hold the A-arms on. And yeah, everything looks pretty decent. We've got weights on this side to counterbalance or counterweight the motor, which is a 540 can, 7.4 volt. I don't know the turn on this. It says 18/72, so I'm guessing maybe it's an 18 turn. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but it's got a metal mount to that as well. In the back, you've got your battery mount, which is a 2S LiPo 7.4 volt, 1500 milliamp hour, and there's actually extra room or space up here. You can see the battery slide around, that you could put a little bit bigger battery in here. Like I said, it goes 50 kilometers an hour, about 30 to 31 miles per hour. Have a little pin here, pop this off. You can see how it holds the battery in. We'll just kind of give you a little look. It does use the Dean style or the T style connectors for the batteries. If we can get it to focus in here, we'll look. Yeah, so 1500 milliamp hour. This comes with it. You can see the battery tray. Give you just a top view of the car here. And again, the weights, your combined ESC receiver, your center diff is going to be underneath here, or the transmission for it. I don't know exactly how they're powering it. It must be coming off the motor here to the drive shaft and then the front diff. So it might just be a two diff setup. I don't know exactly, but we'll see how it runs. Definitely liking that suspension on here. I'll probably change out the weighting. These are oil-filled shocks. Give a little closer look again at the rear end of the vehicle. You can see how it's set in there. And the beadlock wheels and the treads, they're pretty grippy. And this is an exact, basically, copy or mirror chassis setup as their WLtoys. It's the 12428, which is kind of like the twin hammer look, which is very similar and almost cloned off of that. And so this trophy truck is running off of that type of a setup here, just does not have the cage on it. So and that is a very popular car. I've seen that running a lot and it looks really fun, so I'm hoping that this thing performs the same way. Again, this is from GearBest. Let's see, we'll see if we get a little power out of this battery here for you. You can see the lights on the front there. Pretty cool for 70 some bucks. Not a bad little deal. 12th scale. We'll get this up and compared next to their 18th scale and then my 10th scale Losi short course truck, so you can kind of get a size comparison between all of them and what you'll be getting. This seems like a really fun size though in this 12th scale to me. I'm really liking it. All right, so there are the three cars set side by side. We've got the 1/10th scale Losi the WLtoys 1/12 and the WLtoys 1/18 scale trucks. Alright, the first view we're going to look at is from above. You can see the difference in the length of all of the vehicles, the widths and everything. You can see that it's quite a bit shorter than the 1/10 scale. And quite a bit taller than the 1/18 scale. So it's kind of right there in the middle, easy to grab and go with you, have a little bit more control than you would with this 1/18 scale, though this thing is really, really fun. And for about 50 bucks, these things are a blast and surprisingly quick. Alright, so that wraps up our unboxing and look at the WLtoys 12423 short course trophy truck. They call it a climbing buggy, which I don't call it that at all, but that's what they have it listed on GearBest as. It looks like a pretty cool little truck, and I can't wait to get it out and get some run footage of it for you guys here very soon, so keep your eye out for it. I'll put a link in the description below so you can check this out for yourself. And if you've seen any of the buggy ones running, the actual buggy ones that are like the twin hammer, this should be very comparable to that. So we'll do a little test and see when we get this out on the jumps and out on some of the terrain, the dirt, and just tearing it up for you guys. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Tony, CCxRC. We'll catch you next time, and have fun RCing.